Huge thanks to Honey for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description below to go to joinhoney.com/toygalaxy to add Honey to your browser and start saving money with your online purchases now. It's a timeless tale about being forced to grow up too fast, having the burden of leadership thrust upon you, the weight of responsibility for your teammates, your family, and the most powerful weapon in the galaxy. In an unfamiliar place far from home, a story told through the lens of anthropomorphic superhero space refugee cat people. Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is the history of Thundercats. We have previously covered elements of the history of Thundercats in an outdated format called 10 Things You Need to Know. While it allowed us to present a brief overview of Thundercats in general, it also skipped a lot of basic stuff. Thundercats began as a 130-episode animated series originally airing from 1985 to 1989, supported by an action figure line from LJN, a series of Marvel comic books, and lots of other licensed merchandise. It follows the adventures of a small group of feline humanoid refugees fleeing the destruction of their homeworld Thundera: Lion-O, Tigra, Cheetara, Panthera, Wily Kit, Wily Cat, and Snarf. The Thundercats are a team, a family in a sense. They are what's left of the ruling hierarchy of the planet. Searching for a new home out in the stars, they are attacked along the way by an evil group of mutants called the Mutants. Their ship damaged, the Thundercats take the necessary measures to save themselves and the future of their species. As the other Thundercats sleep in chambers designed to keep them in suspension for the years-long trip across the galaxy, Jaga stays awake to pilot the ship, sacrificing his own life in the process. Upon arrival at a new planet called Third Earth, the Thundercats must orient themselves not only to their new home, but to the revelation that Lion-O, one of their youngest members, the heir to the Thundercats' throne, has prematurely aged 10 years due to a damaged suspension chamber. The mind of a 13-year-old in the body of a 23-year-old. Relatable, right? And the Thundercats still have possession of one of the most powerful weapons in the universe, the Sword of Omens, which means the mutants are after them because their new boss, an undead sorcerer named Mumm-Ra, wants it real bad.
Wants it real bad. Wants it real bad. Liquor.
Thundercats was created by Ted, Tobin, Wolf, Leonard Starr, and Mike Jermakian. It was produced by Rankin Bass Entertainment and Leisure Concepts. Rankin Bass is the same Rankin Bass responsible for the classic stop-motion animated holiday specials dating back to the 60s. Leisure Concepts is the company founded by Stan Weston, creator of the 1960s G.I. Joe, Captain Action, Mego's World's Greatest Superheroes, and licensing agent for DC, Marvel, and King Features Syndicate. He's kind of a big deal. Ted Tobin Wolf grew up in an orphanage, put himself through high school, and married at age 19. He served in World War II, where he lost part of his leg in the Battle of the Bulge. He learned about mechanical engineering and became an inventor working for Westinghouse before applying that mechanical knowledge to toys. In 1981, he sketched out a concept featuring superhuman animal hybrid characters. He showed the sketches to Arthur Rankin and Jules Bass, who brought in Stan Weston and Leisure Concepts to flesh out the idea visually. They contacted Leonard Starr, longtime writer and artist of newspaper strips and both Marvel and DC comic books, as head writer, establishing the foundation for the world and mythology of the series. Mike Jermakian of Leisure Concepts developed the look of each of the characters, including their weapons, vehicles, locations, and the Thundercats logo itself. Bernard Hoffer composed the music, including the iconic theme song, while Jules Bass wrote the lyrics. While Rankin Bass had experience in producing animation, most of their work was for movies. Thundercats was an attempt at a fully syndicated daily cartoon series. Development had to be fast and efficient. While there were dozens of characters to be cast, they settled on just 6 voice actors for the entire first season. Larry Kenney handled Lion-O and Jackalman, Earl Hyman was Panthera, Red-Eye, and the Ancient Spirits of Evil, Earl Hammond was Jaga, Mumm-Ra, Vultureman, Amok, Captain Cracker, Hammerhead, and 2 of the Burbles. Peter Newman was Tigra, Wily Cat, Bengali, and Monkeyan. Lynn Lipton was Cheetara, Wily Kit, and Luna. Bob McFadden was Pumaira and Chilla, and each of them voiced a handful of other minor characters. The production was so efficient that it only added 2 more voice actors, Jerry Ann Raphael and Doug Prees, over the course of the consecutive 3 seasons. 1985 was the height of the 80s style multimedia marketing approach. You don't just make a show, you don't just make a toy, you make a show, a toy, a comic book, backpacks, stickers, lunchboxes, Halloween costumes, erasers, everything you can put that logo or those characters on. LJN Toys released a full line of action figures, Thundercats, Mutants, Berserkers, and more, each with their own signature weapons, many with battle-matic action, a Switch-activated gimmick carried over from their Advanced Dungeons & Dragons line just a few years earlier. Lion-O and Mumm-Ra went one gimmick further, each one possessing a light-up eye function powered by a battery-operated ring that plugged into their backs. Vehicles including the Thunder Tank, the Sky Cutter, and the Fist Pounder. Even Mumm-Ra's tomb and a huge Cat's Lair playset featuring a laser weapon mounted in the head with a firing mechanism you control, but watch out for the packed-in mutant attack vehicle which can return fire and blow open the doors.
Where are the Thundercats? We don't know, Master. Whose the cauldron will tell us?
You will find the Thundercats at Burger King for a limited time only. Introducing Thundercats meal packs for your kids with a glowing light switch cover, a secret message ring, and 2 other Thundercats treasures, a different one each week.
We must get them!
Sorry, Reptile. Our powers work for good, not evil.
Thundercats meal packs for your kids, now only at Burger King.
Honey is the free and easy way to save you money while shopping online for stuff you already shop for online. How is that? By finding coupons, promo codes for the stuff you're already buying and applying them to your cart at checkout. You, at your device, shopping online, Target, Newegg, J.Crew, Walmart, Expedia, Domino's, eBay, Etsy, just some of the sites I thought of off the top of my head. Items in cart, checking out, this little box drops down and all you have to do is click apply coupons, wait a few seconds for it to scan promo codes from across the internet, then watch the prices drop. Honey worked for me. I was so excited to save $5 on a 15-pound bag of cat food for my cats that I high-fived myself because I'm a responsible adult who used my human food money to buy action figures. That's savings that makes me feel good. Honey is used by over 17 million and 1 members with over $2 billion and $5 in savings. Over 30,000 stores online, including PetSmart, and all your favorite action figure stores like Walgreens and Best Buy are supported. By not having Honey, you could literally be passing up free money. It's free to use and installs in just 2 clicks. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/toygalaxy. Thank you to Honey for sponsoring today's video. The third major arm of the rollout was a series of comic books published by Star Comics, the all-ages imprint of Marvel Comics. 24 issues were released over a 3-year period. Meanwhile, a completely different set of comics were being published by Marvel UK in the UK. That series would also run for 3 years, but a total of 129 issues would hit the shelves. Thundercats was a global brand appealing to kids all over the planet. After 1 season, Thundercats was one of the biggest brands in the US and around the world, standing alongside the Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Masters of the Universe. In 1986, Rankin Bass followed the same formula for an unofficial shared universe series called Silverhawks. Check out our video on that series if you haven't already. That same year, Thundercats attempted to flex their muscles at the cinema with a feature-length movie called Thundercats Ho! However, just prior to release, some of the juggernauts of pop culture that they were standing alongside took their movie to the cinemas and nearly killed off their entire franchises. Hasbro released Transformers and My Little Pony to theaters in the summer of 1986. They both performed so poorly that Hasbro took their G.I. Joe film straight to television as a 5-part miniseries, and the Gem and the Holograms movie got shelved altogether. Taking their cues from Hasbro, the Transformers, and G.I. Joe, Thundercats was also cut up into a 5-episode miniseries, kicking off season 2 in a near miss with financial insolvency. To this day, the movie has never been released uncut, plausible deniability that it was always meant to be this way. In 1987, Rankin Bass added a third unofficial shared universe partner with Tiger Sharks. 1987 was also the year that Rankin Bass parent company and Thundercats distributor Lorimar Telepictures decided to take the show on the road, literally. With a traveling stage show featuring the Thundercats, the Silverhawks, and their special friends Gumby, Pokey, Tiger Shark, Street Frogs, and Karate Cat. Was it a case of executives drunk on power, flying too close to the sun, overestimating the demand for the product? Or just a beautiful, terrifying relic of a bygone age? Who's to say? But is it canon? No, it's not. It should be, but it's not. 1987 also saw the release of Thundercats The Lost Eye of Thundera by video game publisher Elite Systems. If you owned an Amstrad CPC, Amiga, Atari ST, Commodore 64, or a Sinclair ZX Spectrum, you could take control of Lion-O in a side-scrolling adventure to take the Eye of Thundera back from the evil Mumm-Ra. After 130 episodes, kids moved on. The ratings weren't there anymore. The toy sales weren't there anymore. The whole franchise was put into a kind of sleep chamber until those kids became young adults and started to get nostalgic for the things of their youth, now that the world of adult responsibilities had begun to dominate their lives and they had some money to buy it all back. Thundercats officially returned to a narrative capacity in 2002 at Wildstorm Productions, part of DC Comics, which was all under the umbrella of Warner Brothers, where the rights to the Thundercats landed after Lorimar Telepictures became part of the family in 1989, a rare example of a prominent brand changing allegiances from Marvel to DC thanks to corporate shenanigans. A whole bunch of Thundercats comics would be published, including several prominent crossovers with other major characters like Superman and Battle of the Planets, but is it canon? No, none of it's canon. It's fun, don't get me wrong. Thundercats and Battle of the Planets, that's the kind of stuff that previously only existed on the playgrounds. But as far as official continuity, if there is such a thing with a franchise like this that has had more than one incarnation, that's a no from me. Thundercats almost returned in a big way in 2008. Warner Brothers was developing a CG animated feature going back to the roots of the franchise, but updated for modern sensibilities. A 2-minute test reel provided a glimpse of what could have been. After the box office disappointments of Speed Racer in 2008 and G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra in 2009, Thundercats once again took a hint from its partners and aimed for television instead. In 2010, Bandai brought Thundercats back to toy shelves with new figures based on the classic series designs. Mezco Toys brought out large-scale figures in early 2011, and in July, Cartoon Network began airing the first new Thundercats animation in over 2 decades. This show was a darker, more mature approach to the Thundercats mythology, digging a little deeper with more continuous narrative structure. There were character arcs and a build-up to significant events. It was a rebooted mythology, but is it canon? I don't know. It was supposed to be 2 seasons of 52 episodes, but it was canceled after just 1 season of 26 episodes. So while there's a lot deeper characterization and motivations are different, it's an unfinished tale. But it looked really cool, so I mean, that's a toss-up. Maybe they'll finish it and this is the new standard, right? I don't know. Like all cartoons, the show was canceled after it failed to find an audience with either adults or kids. Adults that found the show weren't buying the toys. Kids that weren't watching the show weren't buying the toys either. I don't know much about the economics of the toy industry, but that doesn't sound like a formula that's going to last for very long. But no 80s property is truly gone so long as any one of them is still succeeding. Blame Transformers, I guess, because Thundercats came back again in 2020 with Thundercats Roar. Like Thundercats through the lens of the kinds of cartoons kids are watching today. Blame Steven Universe, I guess, or Teen Titans Go to the Movies. That thing did $52 million worldwide on a budget of $10 million. Produced by Warner Brothers Animation, Thundercats Roar is a much more lighter, childlike, humorous series than its predecessors. It was intended to be released on Cartoon Network, but as of this video, only 2 episodes have been released, and they are only on the Cartoon Network app. So, is it canon? No, honestly, anything that has been produced since the original series ended is non-canon until a new series is A, finished, and B, released for people to watch. So, after consideration, Thundercats 2011 is not canon for now. And that's all we're going to say about both of those sequels. They're both worthy of exploring deeper in their own focused videos. They both have received mixed reviews from the fan base for different reasons, to say the least. We'll just leave it with this quote from Comic Book Resource's review of the first 2 episodes, quote, "Thundercats Roar knows what it wants to be, and a few pacing quibbles aside, it does it well," end quote. The original Thundercats animated series has been released on DVD multiple times by Warner Home Video in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2011, 2012, and then the complete series again just last year in 2019. You can buy or rent them from your favorite online video streaming services like YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, Vudu, or Amazon Prime. What does the future hold for the Thundercats from Thundera from Third Earth? They've managed to maintain a moderate degree of pop culture awareness thanks to licensing across a spectrum of clothing, accessories, and collectibles. Funko has released pop vinyl and Dorbs figures, and in 2018 a series of 5 POA figures similar to Mattel's vintage Masters of the Universe line. In 2016, Mattel released a series of subscription-based Thundercats at the tail end of their hugely successful Masters of the Universe Classics line of figures. Lion-O, Panthro, Mumm-Ra, Jackalman, Pumaira, and an SDCC 2-pack of Wily Kit and Wily Cat were released before Mattel canceled the line, leaving the team incomplete. However, in 2019, Super 7 picked up the ball from Mattel with their Thundercats Classics, reissuing the figures Mattel produced in 2016 and finishing the team with Tigra, Groon, Muscles, Mumm-Ra, Jaga, Cheetara, Slithe, and Captain Crackers. Super 7 plans to keep the world of Thundera going as long as possible in as many different forms as possible. If the full-size classic figures are out of your budget, maybe the 5 POA reaction figures will be good enough. Thundercats has been owned by Warner Brothers since the 80s. Where it goes from here is up to them to decide, but it remains one of the most popular brands born in the 80s that refuses to go away, while simultaneously refusing to reach its full potential. While it may seem unrealistic now, after 2 unsuccessful reboots, there's still a chance for a third return to our Earth for the Thundercats. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you very much to those of you who already are. If you're in the position to help the channel grow, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/toygalaxy or become a channel member at youtube.com/toygalaxytv/join. Both Patreon and YouTube channel membership have the same exclusive content, so choose your own adventure. Please share this video and let us know in the comments down below if you like this Earth, technically this is First Earth, or if you'd rather fast forward past the 2 nuclear holocausts so you can run around Third Earth as a cat person already. Like, let's get to it. Cut.